A really good audition.
And what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
So then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did it homework.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are 2 ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal signed or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
It seems like the mystery behind why the Navy has been waiting so long for a new album is finally starting to unravel, and the truth might be far more complicated than anyone expected. 4 years. People assumed the delay was simply because Rihanna shifted her focus to building her Fenty Beauty empire or embracing motherhood. But now, new whispers suggest there's a deeper story at play, and surprisingly, Jay-Z's influence may be a major part of it. This isn't just about stepping away from music, it's about behind-the-scenes decisions that may have quietly shaped her entire career path. Rumors have been swirling for years, but now they're resurfacing louder than ever, suggesting that Rihanna may have been tied into complicated financial agreements from the very beginning of her career, allegedly structured in a way that kept her constantly owing rather than earning. Insiders claim she's finally in a position where she could confirm what fans have suspected for over a decade. People have even noticed strange patterns, like her music being difficult to use on platforms such as Instagram, especially tracks from her anti-era, ironically her most critically praised yet least traditionally promoted project. Some believe that tension behind the scenes played a role, particularly involving Jay-Z, also known as Sean Carter, who is said to avoid public embarrassment at all costs. What makes this narrative even more compelling is that Rihanna once openly admired both Beyoncé and Jay-Z, viewing them as inspirations and mentors. She spoke about Beyoncé as her idol and even cherished personal advice she received early in her career. Working with Jay-Z was once her ultimate dream, a moment that symbolized success at a young age. But according to these claims, that dream may have evolved into something far more restrictive behind closed doors. To understand the situation, many point to how record deals typically function. Labels provide artists with upfront money, often called advances, to cover production, promotion, and living costs. However, these are not gifts. They must be paid back before the artist sees real profit. If projects underperform, the artist can remain in debt for years. Rihanna's journey began when her breakout hit, Ponder Replay, caught the attention of industry leaders at Def Jam, where Jay-Z had just stepped into a powerful executive role. After impressing both him and L.A. Reid, she reportedly signed a deal in the early hours of the morning, a moment that seemed life-changing, but according to speculation, may have locked her into long-term obligations. Some theories suggest that her advances were so substantial that they kept her financially tied to the label even while she dominated charts globally. The situation allegedly became more complicated around the release of Anti, which unexpectedly surfaced early on Tidal, forcing Rihanna to release it quickly and even distribute it for free to fans. Certain voices claim this was not accidental but strategic, potentially affecting her earnings and momentum. Following that period, noticeable distance reportedly grew between Rihanna and both Jay-Z and Beyoncé, with insiders describing carefully managed interactions at public events. This has fueled speculation that Rihanna's step back from music wasn't due to a lack of passion, but rather a calculated decision, possibly realizing that continuing to release music would primarily benefit contractual obligations rather than her own financial freedom. Adding to the intrigue, fans often question why two global icons, Rihanna and Beyoncé, have never officially collaborated, despite their shared connections. Some believe it wasn't coincidence, but a deliberate separation to maintain control over business interests. Beyond that, more controversial allegations have circulated over the years involving past associates and legal scrutiny, though none of these claims have been definitively proven. Ultimately, the story being painted by these theories is one of ambition, power, and control, suggesting that Rihanna's silence in music may not be about stepping away, but about stepping out of a system she no longer wanted to be part of. Claims like these take the story into even more controversial territory, with some voices alleging that Chris Brown's health issues at the time were linked to his relationship with Rihanna, and that their entire pairing may not have been as organic as it appeared. According to these rumors, The relationship was orchestrated in a way that distracted from deeper connections involving Jay-Z, suggesting there were far more layers behind the public narrative than fans ever realized. From there, the story expands into a broader claim that Jay-Z allegedly maintained tight control over nearly every aspect of Rihanna's early career and personal life. When you combine that with the long gap in her music releases and the binding nature of deals tied to Roc Nation, some believe it paints a picture of an artist caught in a system designed to keep her financially obligated. There are even accusations that negative habits and dependencies were enabled during that period, with unnamed sources claiming her lifestyle began affecting her personality and relationships over time. However, the narrative takes a sharp turn when it highlights what many see as Rihanna's defining move, walking away. According to these accounts, she recognized that continuing to release music would mainly serve to repay old obligations rather than benefit her directly. So instead, she made a strategic decision: no new albums, no new royalties flowing back into the system. By stepping back from music entirely, she effectively cut off the cycle that allegedly kept her tied down. Rather than fading away, she redirected her focus into building her empire through Fenty Beauty, an area where she had full control and ownership. That shift didn't just free her creatively, it elevated her financially, helping her reach billionaire status on her own terms. While many artists linked to the same circles haven't experienced that level of independence, Rihanna's pivot stands out as a powerful example of reclaiming control. In the end, this perspective frames her silence in music not as absence, but as strategy. Instead of feeding a system she may no longer trust, she chose to dominate a space where she holds all the power. So the next time fans wonder why there's no new album, some believe the real answer lies in everything she may have had to overcome and what returning to that system could cost her.